Welcome back to another Pokemon Market Monday, home of the OG weekly market updates, where every Monday morning we go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going up in price. And we do also cover the big Pokemon news, like cards and sets that get revealed. And we are going to be doing two crazy giveaways today. One is for a Phantasmal Flames ETB, and the other one is for a Phantasmal Flames booster box. So we're going to do one giveaway on YouTube and one giveaway on Instagram. The Phantasmal Flames ETB will be the YouTube giveaway. All you have to do is make sure you subscribe. You got to hit that notification bell. You got to hit that like, and then you have to answer the question of the day. So for today's question, what is the most overrated Pokemon card in all of Pokemon history? Is it the Bubble Mew, the Umbreon EX, the Umbreon VMAX? Let me know down below to be entered into this giveaway. I'll be announcing the winner next Monday. And then for the Instagram booster box giveaway, all you have to do is make sure you follow me on Instagram, and then you got to follow LC3 Official. And then you got to tag 2 friends and then comment your favorite Pokemon down below. I will have all the information down below in the description and on my Instagram. So yeah, good luck to everybody. And we got to thank LC3 for donating these super cool boxes. And then of course we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. I have tried them all. I actually just spent a bunch of time recently adding a ton more stuff to my Collectr. They also have a super cool social component where you can make posts and share your collection with your friends and family. They also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby, so make sure you follow them on all their socials. You will not be disappointed. Then, of course, if you're going to grade through PSA for your first time, you can click my link in the description. Use code BEARD25 and you receive $25 off your very first submission, which is basically a free graded card. And I just got my tag affiliate link. You can use code BEARD10. Click my link down below, and you'll get 10% off your first submission. So definitely check all that out. But all right, let's get to it. We're going to hop to Pokebeach. If you guys did not know, Chaos Rising just got revealed, all the new products. So this was revealed Thursday. Now, a lot of times they won't drop them on Friday, so it would be the next available business day, which is today. So if you guys are watching this Monday morning and these did not drop on Friday, there's a very, very good chance that they will be dropping today. So make sure you guys check Pokemon Center constantly. I like to set alarms from like 9 a.m. and then like every 20, 30 minutes, and I have yet to miss a drop doing that. But super solid set, definitely one of our smaller sets. I do think it is better than Perfect Order. Let me know down below what you guys think. Super nice Fennekin promo. Anytime we get a starter promo, I am happy. But all right, let's get into it. We are starting off with Celebrations. So kind of slowing down a little bit. Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this one, 310, 359, 350, 342. And we definitely have to check that UPC. So if we have any sales over $1,000, pretty much all at about 980, couple at 960. So getting very, very close. And Pokemon Center ETB, this one is still climbing. Last sold for this, 450 with a slight tear on back. Otherwise, 499, 498. Pretty much all at $499. And we will check the collector's chest. This box is still doing very good. Last sold 158, 156, and 150. And definitely want to check my Charizard and Sylveon box. Market price $150. So not too bad. And now the Celebrations Pokemon figure collection is now over 200. Last sold 250, 263, 249, 215. So that went up super quick. Again, we do not get a ton of sales for this box. We're getting one every few days, if that. Next, we have Evolving Skies. We're going to be checking the sleeve booster pack for Evolving Skies. So leveling out a little bit, actually down $1 or $2, right about $50. And booster box, also leveling out. Last sold pretty much all at $2,600. And the regular ETB, this is the Umbreon one. Last sold $490, $452, $457, $485. And we definitely got to check the Pokemon Center ETB. This is the Umbreon one. It's always going to be a little more expensive. Last sold $845, $1,350, $999, and $1,000. Again, we do not get a ton of sales for this, so the two newest ones are at $845, and 5 days before that, it was at $1,350. And of course, absolutely no pictures, but we can get it shipped on TCG Player right now with a small cut on top for $1,300. And then we got one with no picture at $1,550. Wow. Next, we have Crown Zenith. So we got the regular ETB here. Kind of leveling out a little bit also. Last sold $325, $320, $299, $305. And Pokemon Center ETB honestly doing the same thing. Last sold $450, $444, $445. Definitely slowing down a little bit, but still making some amazing gains. Sea and Sky Premium Collection, market price $270. And the booster bundle, market price $165 now. And here is the Crown Zenith Galarian Moltres tin. I have so many of these tins. Last sold 123, 121, 110, 113. Not too bad. All right, we got 151. So we got the booster bundle. Of course, everything is going to be going up. Last sold 180, 175, 188. And definitely want to check the regular ETB, which is now $600. Last sold 570 with a slight tear. Otherwise, 600, 600, 622, 621, 610. And the 151 poster collection. Like I said, everything's going up. Last sold for this 75, 69. A bunch at 75. Looks like the 151, just a poster. And you got to get at least 10 of them. Sold at $2. Not too bad. It's a pretty cool poster. And we got the UPC. Last sold for this 1,125, 1,127, 1,090, 1,110. Market price for the Zapdos EX now is $93. Market price for the Alakazam box, which is just a tiny little box, $95. And we got some crazy sales for the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold $1,450, $1,425, $1,540, $1,500. We can get it shipped right now from a legit seller at $1,450. And the 151 booster bundle display, we'll click on that. It's been a while. Last sold for this now, $1,975, $2,450, $1,875. You know, as long as that booster bundle keeps going up, that thing is just going to keep getting more and more expensive. And then we got the 151 mini tin display. This is at $272. Last sold $500. Someone got 12 of them at $450, $497. So I really feel like the Prismatic Evolutions mini tin display is super undervalued. All right, next we have Prismatic Evolutions. So there's that mini tin display I was just talking about. Market price $191. I mean, that is not too bad at all. But the booster bundle, last sold for Prismatic now, $76, $79. Pretty much all at about $75. And the regular ETB, slowing down a little bit. Last sold for this, $199, and someone bought 9 of them. And we got a couple sales at $200 and a couple at $192. Surprise box, market price $47. The binder collection, market price $82. And the SPC market price $300 and about $60. And here is the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this, $470, $444, $450, $439. That box is doing crazy good, which is nice because I have a bunch of those. Next, we have Destin Rivals. So everything is kind of leveling out. Booster box is actually going down in price a little bit. It was almost at $600. Now that's sold $520, $529. And the regular ETB hasn't moved a ton since last week. Last sold for this one, $191, $199, $205. So basically a $200 ETB now. And we got the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this, $449, $425, $405, and $440. We can get this one shipped right now for $460. And that's why these prices just keep going up and up and up. You know, if people just keep raising their prices on these boxes. And you got to think too, these Pokemon Center ETBs, the quantity is always pretty low. There's only 63 of these ETBs on all of TCG Player. All right, let's get into it. We got the Paldea Evolve booster box going up in price still. Last sold for this box, $452, $449, $450. And you got to think this set is now getting pretty old. So probably not going to get a big reprint of Paldea Evolve booster boxes anytime soon. Next, we have the Stellar Crown booster box. Was at $250. Now that's sold $294, $296, and $298. Next, we have the Journey Together, just a regular booster box. This is at $231. Now that's sold $265, $255, and $275. Next, Twilight Masquerade, still slowly climbing. Last sold now $338, $337, and $335. And we have some Pokemon Center ETBs. Here is Phantasmal Flames. Last sold for this, $225, $240, $239, $250. And Black Bolt is making some crazy runs also for their Pokemon Center ETB. This got down to $138. Last sold $238, $264, $259, $210. And we have the Brilliant Stars Pokemon Center ETB. This is at $154. Now last sold $196, $204, $189, Told so many people to pick this up at about 140 bucks. And even the Pokemon Go Pokemon Center ETB is doing work. This is at 140. Now last sold 195, 198, and 199. Someone got 5 of them at 180. Next, we have the regular Journey Together ETB, the set that everybody said sucks. All last sold now is about $99. And it was at 80 for the longest time. And here's the Brilliant Stars regular ETB. This was also at about $99 for a long time. Now last sold 145, 120, 147. And we have the Hidden Fates ETB. This is at $376. Now last sold $475, $499, $460. And even the Team Rockets Moltres UPC just keeps climbing. It's kind of crazy. It was at $175. Now last sold $275, $265, $264. Whenever I get this box vending and I can get it at 80% or 75% or 85%, I'm just going to keep this box. I love it. Next, we have the Phoebos Illustration Rare. This was a $3 card. Now last sold 8, 6, and 5. Next, the Skarmory Illustration Rare. This was at $5. Now last sold 6, 7, and 8. Next, the Shaman Illustration Rare from Destined Rivals. This was at $7. Now last sold 9, 12, 11. And the Tangela here from 151. As you guys know, these cards went crazy. This was at $6. Now last sold 14, 16, and 15. But there is some of these cards that are starting to retrace already, so definitely have to check out my next Falling Friday, because there's going to be a bunch of these 151 cards on here, I guarantee it. Next, we have the Ammonite from 151. Again, $6, $7 card. Now last sold 15, 14, 16, and 20. Next, we have the Magby from Paradox Rift. This was $11. Now last sold 17, 15, and $21. And we even have the Ivysaur from Mega Evolution, which I felt like these cards were just so undervalued. This is at $14. Now last sold 19, 21, 27. And we have the actual Bulbasaur, the one you have to pull from that same set. This is at 13. Now last sold 15, 17, 29, 24. Some weird sales. Next, we have the actual box topper Bulbasaur from Mega Evolution. This card is actually very tough to grade and selling for $600 to $800 in a PSA 10, so it's going to go crazy. This is at $14. Now last sold 21, 22, 18, 19. Next, the Caterpie from 151. Last sold for this one 17, 29, 13, and 15. And the Nidoking from 151 was at $10. Now last sold 21, 35. Someone bought 3 of them at that price for some reason. But most of the sales are about $20. And the Machoke also going up. So it's $11. Now last sold 22, 25, 21. And we have the Team Rockets Mimikyu. This is from Ascended Heroes. This is at $39. Dropped down to 23. Now last sold 26, 29, 25. So just going up in price a little bit, but I can see this thing really going up in price. Next, we have the Misty's Lapras, which was at $20. Now last sold 25, 28, and 27. And the Riolu Illustration Rare. This is at $23. Last sold now 32, 29, and 28. It's from the base set, Scarlet Violet. Next, we have the Haunter Promo. This was at $19. Now last sold 36, 39, 35. And the Poliwhirl from 151 was at $20. We got a sale now at 48, 38, 39. Pretty much most of them are about $39. And the Drowsy, basically every card from Generation 1 right now is going up in price. This is at $27. Now that sold 40, 41, and $39 with one high sale at $58. Next, we have the Haxorus from Black Bolt. This is at $43. Now last sold 57, 64, 60, 49. Not too bad. I do think that is a super cool Pokemon that does not get a lot of love. Next, we have the Dragonair. Was at $25. Now last sold 49, 49, 55, 52, 73. And we have the Mousehold here. This was at $48. Now last sold 65, 63, and 61. And the Eevee from Twilight making another run for the 10th different time. This is at $54. Now last sold 78, 75, and 70. Next, the Psyduck from Ascended Heroes bouncing back. Kind of had a feeling this would. This is at $102, dropped down to 61. Now last sold 99, 74, 75, 88. People love their Psyducks. Next, we got the Raichu illustration rare was at $49. Now last sold 80, 80, 97, 78, 75. And the Groudon was at 70. Now last sold 85, 90, 97. And actually, I had to record this a day earlier than I wanted to. I am actually flying to Florida to meet up with a celebrity to make a Pokemon video. So stay tuned for that. I will let you know when I'm going to drop that video. And then also, I will be vending at the Choctaw Resort and Casino in Durant, Oklahoma this Friday and Saturday. I almost forgot to mention that. That's going to be super fun, especially going to a card show and then being able to go, play a little blackjack after and, hang out. It's going to be a blast. Next, we have the Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown making another run. Was at 55. Now last sold 82, 84, 85, 99, 94. The Pikachu from 151 is next. Was at $40. Now last sold 103, 85, 99. Now, when some of these cards start to retrace a little bit, I have a feeling some of them are going to retrace and then someone's going to buy them all out and then they're going to go back up in price again. So I'm calling that now with a couple of these cards. Next, we have the Bulbasaur from 151 was at $40. Now that sold 93, 145, 91, 113. Especially when we get crazy random sales like this at $145 when we can get it shipped for $100. It's just crazy. Next, the Squirtle from Stellar Crown was at 73. Now that sold 132, 108, 110, 125. And the Charmander from 151 was at 60. Now last sold 196, 145, another one at 196, 134, 130. And we got the Magikarp. Was at 250, now last sold 250, 325, 268, 301, 318. Next, we got the SIRs. Here's the Team Rockets Giovanni. This was at $26. Now last sold 37, 39, 35. And the Alakazam SIR, of course, already starting to retrace just $1 or $2. But this was at 43. Now last sold 87, 85, and one high one at $106. Next, we have the Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. This was at 67. Now last sold 110, 100, 99. But we've seen this card go over $100 like 10 different times. Next, we have the Zapdos from 151. Was at about 65. Now last sold 127, 119, 130, 135. Next, we got the Venusaur from 151. Was at $75. Now last sold 143, 145, 195, 167. And the Pikachu in the Forest from Ascended was at $525. Dropped down to $476. Now last sold $480, $549, $600. A lightly played at $457. Another one with the picture at $599. And the Mega Dragonite EX from Ascended is also still climbing. Last sold for this one $630, $650, $675, and $612. Next, we have the Bubble Mew. This got down to $460. Now last sold $699, $683, and $695. Next, we have the big boy, the Mega Charizard X. Last sold for this one $712, $720, $725. A couple random low sales here at $399. Must be Japanese or something. But all the last sales are at $700. And we can get it shipped right now for $725. Next, we have the Mega Gengar from Ascended. This was at $970. Dropped down to $829. Now last sold $999, $1,000, $1,050. And the Umbreon EX from Prismatic. This is at $800. Now last sold $1,391, $1,318, $1,417, $1,500, $1,226. Let's see what we can get this one shipped for. Looks like $1,400 from a legit seller. Next, we have the Mewtwo and Mew GX Tag Team promo. It's got down to $218, and now last sold $290, $265, $240. I do think this is one of the best cards we've ever gotten. Next, we have the Pokemon Center Snorlax promo. Of course, 151's going crazy, so the promos are also going to be going crazy, which is why I love promos. Whenever a set takes off, the promos always follow. This card got down to $200. Now last sold $288. One at $197 still, but otherwise most of them are at about $270 to $290 for this Snorlax. And here is the regular Snorlax. Now, this card was $5 a year ago. We bought a ton of these cards at literally like $2 a card, if that even. And now last sold 27, 25, 24. But you got to think the Charmander promo, the regular one is almost like $50, or it is $50. So this card still has room to grow, in my opinion, comparing it to the other cards, even though the Charmander I feel like is a little overvalued. Next, we have the Pink Mew EX. Beautiful promo. This was at $49 3 months ago. This card used to be $4. I literally have a video talking about buying this card at $4 a card, maybe even like $3. Last sold for this now $88, $79, $95, $82. Next, the Mewtwo promo from the 151 UPC. This is at $24. Now last sold $48, $47, and pretty much all at $48. Next, the Metal Mew, also from the 151 UPC, was at $14. Now last sold $25 to about $30. And last on the list, we have that new first partner illustration collection. So we do have a sale for the 9 promo cards we got so far, $200. If you think about it, you know, if each promo is $20, there's 9 of them, that's $180. So a little over $20 a card. And these are the first ones to hit the market. So I really, really hope these get cheap, because you got to think, you do get 3 promos per one of these Series 1 packs. I am all in on this collection box. I definitely want to get a few cases of each one of these series, and I want to get a ton of these promos. Like, I would literally love to have hundreds and hundreds of these promos. Like, I think it'd be sick if I had a binder for each generation. Like 360 of the Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and stuff like that. So I'm going to go all out for this set. My goal is to have more promos of this than anyone in all of Pokemon. But all right, that was this week's Pokemon Market Monday. Make sure you guys do not forget to be entered into these giveaways. You guys do not want to miss out on these super cool boxes. And of course, if you guys like this content, want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube membership, all that. You guys know what to do. You guys are the absolute best. Also, the PSA link and the new tag link if you guys want to check tag out. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. If you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Sleeper Sunday, where we also do a giveaway, and it was one of my best Sleeper Sundays. I put a lot of thought into that one, a lot of different things. Click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.